Morning viewers and welcome to another Onside SA Soccer Show. We will discuss the midweek Champions League, PSL, preview the weekend's Premiership and Championship, and obviously we'll start with our last one standing competition. Paul's in Joburg with the sales, so as usual our super sub Gavin Radford is here. Gav?
Hey Budge,
Welcome.
Nice to be here. Good week of football and some great games coming up again this weekend. For the viewers to get involved.
Let's hope so. We start off as usual, last one standing. We had 8 people going into week 10. 5 unfortunately perished, namely Kevin Moody, David Thistleton, Enzo Capolo, Graham Pizzane and Jake DeGay. It leaves us with 3. Denzel Govender, who works for Tab Gold here, still going after 10 weeks. He survived with Everton. Likewise, Mark Bowman, involved with bookmaking and sport all over Durban. He also survived with Everton. And a good mate of ours, Colonel Greg van Rooyen. Newcastle was his team. Gav, did he think he was home and dry?
I think he was really planning his trip with his clothes. I think, good boy Greg, I think he deserves to be in there. But I think it's getting to the stage of the competition now where the guys are running out of the big teams and you have to start digging deep and looking for some of the value in the lower half of the league. So it's going to get interesting over the next weekend or so. 10 successful picks is unbelievable. My brother Stephen, they run a last one standing in the UK. It doesn't normally go past 7 weeks. So this is the 11th week. So guys, congratulations. Paul was sent a clip from a good mate of his, Charlie, in London. If we can just pull it up there, please.
Hey Paulie and everyone else in South Africa, all the best.
Thank you.
Can you believe it? Christian Eriksen sending Paul a clip. Do you think that was before the FA Cup final on Saturday or afterwards?
I think that's maybe a little bit beforehand. I know that Paul and a lot of his mates are all Spurs supporters.
Yeah.
But again, Mourinho showing them the true colours of the Man United.
Yeah. That's Paul's big mate. Charlie is with the Let's Go Travel boys in Dubai. Lovely guy. I'm hopefully meeting up with him on Monday before the Tottenham-Watford game. So I'll have a few pints, but he's well connected and looking forward to it.
I think Eriksen's a very good player for Spurs. I think he's done exceptionally well for him. For a small little guy, he gets around the park, he makes them tick.
Okay. We'll start off with PSL in midweek, Gav. I know you love the PSL. There were some teams that are under severe pressure. Tuesday night, we saw Ajax Cape Town beat Baroka 1-0. Bloemfontein Celtic draw 0-0 with Chipper. And Golden Arrows beat Chiefs. Did you see the tackle?
I didn't see the tackle. I just changed over to one of the other games. But I mean, it came down to who wanted it more on the week. And the Ajax boys were fighting tooth and nail for their victory, which they ended up getting. The Chiefs game against
Golden Arrows.
Golden Arrows fighting extremely hard for their position to make the top 8. I think Clinton's got his boys fired up.
Yeah, they're safe now.
The Chiefs are a little bit under pressure again, just to get some victories under the belt. They really look like they're a team battling.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday night, I know you watched the Pirates game. I watched a bit of the Supersport Maritzburg. Polokwane drew 1-1 with Cape Town City. Supersport beat Free State Stars. They scored late on to win 3-2. Maritzburg drew 2-2 with Sundowns. Platinum Stars, Amazulu, great result, 2-1. And Orlando Pirates 4-0. Pirates all over them?
Pirates exceptionally well the last couple of weeks. I know they're fighting and pushing Sundowns all the way down to the league. Watching those youngsters play just reminds me of the old days where they just never stop playing. They're enjoying their football. You can see these guys are really on top of their game. With Amazulu, I thought there was great value with Amazulu at 2-1. They got victory away from home. And the other games, the guys are battling along. It's coming to the end of the season. You can see a few players are tired. Few results, mid-table teams. Some of the players going through the motion, but very tight at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. Apparently, we've got UK correspondent. Steve, are you there? Steve, are you there?
Thank you. Morning.
Morning. How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
Has the weather changed?
Today, laughed away.
Steve, you'll start off Champions League, should I say. Liverpool 5-2 over Roma. Surprised they took Salah off at 5-0?
I mean, look, with 10 minutes to go, it looked like they had both feet in the final. Obviously, a little bit sloppy at the end, and I suspect there might be a few nervous moments because, as we know, Roma came back from the same deficit effectively against Barcelona.
Yeah, it's true. I just can't see it, Steve. Lightning doesn't strike twice, and
I can't see it. The way that Liverpool tore through them,
Yeah.
They could have had any number of goals in that second half.
Agreed. Shame about Oxlade-Chamberlain, knee injury.
Yeah, I mean, obviously out for Liverpool, out for England.
Yeah.
Just obviously finding a bit of form at Liverpool, so that's a loss. Obviously, great shame for him and a loss for both Liverpool and England.
Yeah. Last night's game, Real Madrid a bit lucky to beat Bayern.
Yeah, I think they just seem to know how to win these games.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayern Munich had a hatful of chances and it just didn't go for them. They play in patches, they play very well, but Real Madrid, I just think, they just seem to know how to do it. Ronaldo had a very quiet game, so they probably thought that they did well to keep him shackled, but it was a great first goal by Marcelo. I mean, it's just, I don't think you could defend against that, and I think at that point, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, one thing that's amazed me is the lack of quality with the goalkeepers in the semi-final. I'm not a lover of Karius at Liverpool, that Keylor Navas at Bayern Munich, and as for the Bayern Munich guy, strange. Ellison, the Roma goalkeeper.
Well, listen, sometimes that happens. I mean, you often find, and historically, some of the best goalkeepers in the world are not always at the best clubs.
True.
They get more tested, I guess, if they're with a team with a slightly shaky defence, is that they're called upon to do more.
True. Steve, how do you see Arsenal going against Atletico Madrid tonight?
That's going to be, I think it'll be a very good game. I think Arsenal have got to be absolutely at their best. Which they haven't really been, apart from sort of one or two games in Europe recently.
Yeah.
Very hard to see over two legs past Atletico, but one never knows. I think Arsenal have to take a lead over to Madrid. I think that and not to concede if they can at home, or certainly more than one.
Yeah. Steve, onto the PFA Player of the Year. I saw there was a bit of discontent. Mohamed Salah finishing above Kevin De Bruyne. I thought it was a fair result. Do you?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, at the end of the day, people get excited by goals. And De Bruyne has had an incredible season. I mean, he's a fantastic player. Score goals, made goals. He's sort of run the midfield for City. But ultimately, Salah has come in his first full proper season in the Premier League, and the amount of goals and the quality of the goals he's scored, I think it is a fair result.
Yeah. Also, I think in the Champions League, I know the PFA is decided in February, but he's been outstanding in the Champions League as well. De Bruyne was a little bit hit and miss.
I know you're right. It is sometimes these things are decided a little bit too early, but he just sort of. I don't think anyone was expecting. What they got from him. The fact that Liverpool paid 38 million. I mean, you could add 100 onto that at the moment for the quality of the play.
Yeah, no, I must say he's been absolutely outstanding. Anyway, talking about outstanding, Steve, your man Mitrovic at Fulham, big game on for you tonight. I see you got back in the automatic promotion hunt in midweek.
Well, I mean, it was a big win last Friday night. I mean, we didn't play particularly well in the first half. The second half, it was just a different game altogether. I thought that was one of our best, if not our best, away performances of the season. Completely dominated, and I think. Having spoken to a couple of Millwall fans who were there, they said Fulham are by far the best team that they've seen this year. But again, Derby did us a big favour during the week, beat Cardiff, but it is still in Cardiff's hands. But we're now at that stage where there is no margin for error. So Cardiff are 1 point ahead of us. 2 games to go. We play next. We play tomorrow night home to Sunderland. We have to get a good result. And then it puts pressure back on Cardiff.
I see your last game is Birmingham away.
Our last game is Birmingham away. Their last game is Reading at home. So
correct, So
if we both go into that with them ahead, then I suspect they will be clear favourites.
But Hull City away won't be easy.
And they do not win at Hull, whether they draw or lose, then we will be ahead going into the last game. So there's still, anything. I mean, result could go against both of us, and Aston Villa could pivot at the end. I think it's unlikely that both Fulham and Cardiff would slip up. I suspect, one or other may drop points, but unlikely for both to drop more than sort of.
I think you'll murder Sunderland. Steve, how do you see the Aston Villa Derby game going?
Well, Derby showed. I watched. I turned over from the Liverpool game when they were cruising and watched the last 20 minutes of the Derby game, and it was a great game. The conditions weren't very good, but Derby really were up for it, and they've had a very poor run recently. But the last 20 minutes, they were by far the better team, and really desperately wanted it. Villa have to win. If Villa have any aspirations of trying to sort of
Sneak
get
in,
that
yeah.
automatic place. They have to beat Derby, but then Derby know themselves. They've now got themselves back into a playoff place.
Yeah.
They probably can't afford to lose with sort of Millwall, Brentford, Preston sort of still behind them. So I think that's going to be a very close game. Fancy a draw there,
Yeah.
or a one goal by Villa.
The other game that obviously has playoff, Middlesbrough versus Millwall.
I find it hard to look beyond Middlesbrough. I mean, they have shown a bit of form. Millwall have obviously been exceptionally good, and their first defeat in 17 was against Fulham. But the way that we tore through them in the second half, and Middlesbrough got a bit of pace up front,
Yeah.
I just feel that might be a game too far for them.
Yeah.
But it would be a great game. It's the live game on
Yeah, that's right.
Saturday evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. The other one is at the basement, Burton Albion Barnsley.
Yeah, I mean, that's Burton really surprised me. I mean, they looked like they were down and out with 10 minutes to go at Sunderland and relegated. Yet they've come back away from home. They put some great results together, and that really is it's going to be a big game. It's Burton against Bolton.
Yeah, Burton Bolton. Yeah.
So, and because Burton are playing Bolton. Is why Sunderland were relegated, even though mathematically it looks like Sunderland could have stayed up.
Yeah,
but one or other of
point,
Burton or Bolton will get points.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dodgy game. Okay. And the other side was Barnsley Brentford. I know you.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford have been playing very well recently, and again, they would think they need to go and win at Barnsley in the hope that somebody above them slips up. Barnsley can't afford to lose. I think if Barnsley lose that, they're pretty much down themselves.
Yeah.
So, that could be a lively game. That one, I think, could go either way. Somehow can't see Barnsley beating Brentford, but they could hold them.
Yeah. And the last game, Steve, you've got Sheffield United against my boys, Preston. I think selling
Yeah,
Hugill.
I think it's. I mean, Sheffield United have been playing some good football recently, but the results haven't gone for them, and I think it's too late for them. I think the same for Preston. I think Preston have to look to go and win that, and hope that other teams drop points. But I think it's looking now to me that it's likely to be. I'd be surprised if it's not Derby in sixth and Borough in fifth.
Yeah, I just think Preston. We shouldn't have sold Hugill up front. While we're a famous club, we haven't got much money, and to take the money for West Ham and not replace him has come back to haunt us.
Well, I think that's the frustrating thing. I mean, you took the money, didn't reinvest it, and West Ham haven't played him.
Yeah.
So almost sort of said, well, we'll sell him, and can we loan him back for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Because it just seemed. It's like another sort of typical of a big club just signing somebody for the sake of it as cover, and yet he's rarely featured.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my mates that go there have been crying. We can't win at home. I think we've won 2 of the last 10. It's crippled us.
I think that obviously is where you've come unstuck. I mean, you had a really good away record. And again, it's a little bit like us when you look at our record. Exceptional away. Won 8 and drawn 3 of our last 11.
Yes.
Even though we've had a good record, it was our first 9 games. We only won 1 at home.
All right. Well, Steve, you take it easy. I'll catch up with you on Saturday morning the moment I arrive. Look forward to having a chat.
Give us a
And
call.
good luck tomorrow with your boys. Was it 21
Absolutely,
unbeaten
thank you.
Fulham?
Talk to you soon.
All right, Steve. All the best.
Cheers. Bye.
Stevie B, 50 years supporting Fulham. That's the staunchest of the supporters over there, Gav.
100%. I mean, that's how you get guys to keep a club going. You need those guys in your clubs that can run it through. It's a long season for the guys. They enjoy their football. It's a religion over there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck to the guy, 50 years. I mean, he's looking for some success now to get their team promoted.
Yeah.
Hope it happens for them.
Yeah. Steve, Gav, what did you think of the Liverpool-Roma game?
I thought Liverpool were fantastic. I mean, they took their game to another level.
Yeah.
In saying that, I think that Roma were just caught so flat-footed at the back that I've never seen the team play so many long balls and get on the end of them as often as they did. And Salah, I mean, he was 20, 30 yards of space. They were never going to deal with his pace when it came to the final finish, and Liverpool deserved the win.
No.
I'm just a little bit worried about the 2 goals they conceded, because now they've made it into a competition. But I still think Liverpool will score away from home. It'll be enough for them.
I just don't know. I just can't believe Barcelona lost 3-0 to that team. But fair credit to Liverpool. And I must say, Mohamed Salah, you give him high. He reminds me of a pickpocket. You take he's absolutely outstanding.
He's a fantastic player. I mean, the game suits him. I mean, I think he came to United, you'd be a bit stifled the way Mourinho coaches and plays. But at Liverpool, Klopp's given him the free rein, and he's paying him back
Yeah.
I mean, I think he deserved the Player of the Year in England. I mean, he's got some terrific goals.
Yeah.
I think he scored us about 8 consecutive games, and every goal has been a fantastic strike. I mean, this guy's taken his game to another level.
Well, if Liverpool win the Champions League, I think he will be the main man, World Player of the Year. Even I know it's a bit hard for him at Egypt to have a really good World Cup, but if he performs well, I think he will be World Player of the Year.
I'm just worried that next year when he comes through again, that a lot of the managers are going to be double tapping, and there'll be 2 players watching him.
Yeah.
I think the same way Mourinho took care of him in the United-Liverpool game where he wasn't seen. You have to double tap him, otherwise they will hurt you.
Yeah.
And he's got a good playmaker off him in Firmino. He's done exceptionally well. He's the perfect foil for that. But I mean, with the Liverpool strike force, they are just unbelievable with pace. Yeah. They can hurt any team. And I think Roma, the way they conceded goals in this tournament, I actually wondered how they got to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck to them. If you haven't got a ticket, you haven't got a chance.
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool will be too good over the 2 legs.
Yeah, me too. On to the Premiership for the weekend. And we're talking about Liverpool. We start off at Anfield.
Well, here's a game where Liverpool might have a bit of a hangover and concentrate on the Champions League. They did the same thing last week when it came over the first leg. They ended up drawing. They were 2-0 up against West Brom and they drew 2-2. So I think their minds were already thinking about the game during the weekend. I think Klopp wouldn't mind if he finished third in the league. So United, I think he should be saying to himself this weekend, United can take the second spot. We want the final of the Champions League. Yeah. So, I mean, Liverpool had 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't be touching them. Yeah,
neither would I. Just at Stoke, haven't won in 9. I think they're almost relegated. I think there'll be goals in that game. And if I was Jurgen Klopp, I would rest the main guys. You don't want an injury, especially with Wednesday.
100%.
Can't see Liverpool not winning, but I think
you've got a Stoke team that's fighting for every point, so they're going to be flying into tackles to try and be competitive. I think he should just rest all his top players.
They can't win at home, Stoke. I don't see them going to Anfield. The second game for me is Manager of the Year. I don't think he'll get it because everyone, I think, will go with Guardiola. But Sean Dyche, outstanding job. Be too good for Brighton?
Yeah, too good for Brighton. I think Brighton are too good on the way from home. I think Burnley team fighting for a Europa place. I think 12-10 a good bet.
Yeah, so do I. I think they get the victory. That qualifies them for the Europa League. Now, the team that I love watching, Crystal Palace against Leicester City. Leicester seem to be in holiday mood.
Yeah, Leicester gone off the boil the last couple of weeks. I mean, their top boys haven't performed. Crystal Palace very strong at home. Saha, that's in the team. When he gets into the only problem I don't like about Saha, he's always looking to dive in the box when he could take another step and maybe have a shot. But I think Crystal Palace at home
should be a lively game. There'll be plenty of goals in that. Now here the next game, Huddersfield versus Leicester. I like Huddersfield versus Everton. I like what I saw from Everton on Monday night. I think Sam's under pressure. They've had the survey. I don't know whether the fans want him there. My Evertonian mates don't want him there. But this is a big game for Huddersfield.
It's very strange for Sam to come out and say that he can't find a game plan to beat Man City, which I think most manage under pressure. But you don't allow the fans to hear that. You want to have a go and try and beat these teams. Everton against Huddersfield, both teams struggling. I see Everton shading at maybe 1-0, 2-1. Huddersfield really battling. They're really going to have to come up with a performance, Huddersfield, to get a result. I can see this game going to a draw.
Yeah, I fancy Everton. I just think it's time, Big Sam. Have a go. Play the kids. Have a go. Play 4 forwards, Rooney and Schneider in the middle of the park. Nothing to lose. Get the fans on your side. Now, Newcastle, I thought, were a little bit unlucky against Everton. They had a couple of chances late on. Too good for West Brom?
Yeah, it should be too good for West Brom. West Brom are just clutching at straws. I think Newcastle over the last couple of weeks have really come good. Benitez has got the team playing really well now. The players are believing in themselves, but yet so late in the season for it. But they're the ones that have adapted well to the pressure of the relegation battle, and they've come out of it really doing well. I think Newcastle are a good bet to win.
Yeah, they won the last 4 at home. I think West Brom will score though. Darren Moore's got them organised. Set piece, the best, almost the best in the league with set pieces. They score more goals from set pieces than an open play.
Yeah, it's a bit of a one dimension type of attack from them. But I think Newcastle, with the crowd that they have, the 55,000 at Townside, I think Newcastle will be too good for them.
Yeah, obvious favourites. On to our second page, and a team that hasn't won in 20 in Southampton must win. Local derby against Bournemouth. They were impressive the last 2 games against Chelsea. I thought they've done okay.
Southampton, 18 versus 11th. Southampton, I always talk about them being good on the eye and they're good to watch, but they just don't seem to have a strike force to hurt anybody at the moment, and that's their problem the last couple of weeks. No strike force. Bournemouth, on the other hand, are having a full go. Eddie Howe has a real good go with these players. I think they're stepping up. They're also embracing his game plan. Another tight game. Southampton really have to go for it. There's no hanging around now. You just have to throw people forward. But I think Bournemouth might just be too good on the day for them.
You like them. I can't have them away from home. They're dodgy. I just think it's make or break for Southampton. You know, we've seen it with these teams that have to win. Local derby, fans will be into it. I fancy Southampton. Can't win this, well, they're gone. Another team that's done the last 6 games at home, they're unbeaten, Swansea. Can they upset Chelsea here?
No, I don't like Swansea at all. I mean, I think they had their little patch when the manager came on board.
Yeah.
He took them to a couple of victories, but they just seem to have found their way back into the bottom half of the league again, fighting relegation. If the proper Chelsea team steps up and want to play, which they're also a bit of an in and out. I mean, Hazard and William, I mean, they control that team.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's been a bit of a power struggle in the team at Chelsea, but I mean, with those type of class players, they should be far too good for Swansea. But like you're saying, Swansea are hard to beat on their patch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy to get there. You have to work for your victory. And I just don't know if Chelsea have really been up to it the last couple of weeks. But on class, Chelsea should win.
It should be Chelsea, but I wouldn't be surprised if Swansea sneak a draw. Now, West Ham, Man City, the form Man City have been in, surely they've got to murder West Ham.
Oh, gee, West Ham have just been so disappointing. Man City just arrived with any of the 11 players and they should win this game. Nice big park to play on, suits their game. De Bruyne, I mean, they got class all around the field. I can't see Man City losing this.
Yeah, I think they'll win by 2 or 3 goals. In the last games, Man United, Arsenal, the Arsene Wenger. Think you get a standing ovation at Old Trafford?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll have a good reception there. But Jose Mourinho and Wenger don't see eye to eye. And as much as he's saying how much he appreciates him and he likes him and things like that, there's still that little bit of feud that flows under the skin. And you're nothing more for United than to beat Wenger on the way out.
Yeah,
I think United will be too good. I think Arsenal in the Europa Cup, so they're going through it. I think they play tonight, Thursday night. So they have a little bit of a hangover. I think United will be too good on the day.
Yeah, Arsenal haven't got a point away from home this year. They lost their last 5. 15-10, Sanchez to score. That's my bet of that game, yeah. And last is the London derby, Tottenham versus Watford. Monday night, hangover for Tottenham after the FA Cup. You think they'll take it out on Watford?
You know what? Spurs have been one of those teams that have been fantastic to watch. But again, they've come up short again in the league with nothing to show for it. And they're also just going through the motions to finish the season. Yeah. And saying that, I think Harry still wants to get a few goals for himself.
That's what it's about.
He's falling behind a little bit on the goal tally, so he needs to get a few goals. And I think they could beat Watford at least 3-4-0 in this game.
Yeah.
Watford, I don't fancy them at all. I've never been a Watford fan. It's 4th versus 12. I think Harry will get a couple of goals in.
Yeah, I think I saw 5-1 a Harry Kane hat-trick. Can have a few pound of mine. Anyway, on to the PSL, where with 2 games to go, the league almost looks over for Sundowns. I think they need the win this weekend and it's over.
Yeah, Sundowns just needed 1 more victory to win. I think 4 points clear of Pirates.
Yep.
They've got a game against Ajax. But they're playing at home. There'll be a big crowd wanting to hold the trophy up after the game.
Yep.
Ajax fighting tooth and nail. They've come good, but they've come good too late. Sundowns, too many class players. But again, the top goal scorer in Sundowns has only got 11, 12 goals for himself. And he should be having 20, 25 goals, especially in the team that he's playing for.
Onto the page that we've got here, Gav. Golden Arrows versus Platinum Stars. Now, Platinum Stars are relegated already. Easy afternoon for Clinton Larson's boys.
Well, they've beaten Chiefs during the week, so I think that Golden Arrows' confidence will be up. They play some nice football. Yep. Quick books. They've got some quick boys up front. I think that'll be a result that Arrows should win.
So you're taking the 8-10 Arrows?
Yeah, I'll take the 8-10 Arrows.
All right. What about Baraka? They've only won one of their last 11 against a Bloem Celtic team that can't win away from home. No wins in 10. Draw a big player?
Draw a big player. Both teams really struggling. I can't have either of these teams. Baraka, we mentioned in the past, easy team to watch. They just run. They got players who just chase the ball all over the park. They put pressure on you, but they just don't have the finesse of going forward. And Bloem Celtic, always been a strong team, always been good, but also their form away from home is not too good. Draw written all over this game. Yeah,
looks like it all. Bloem Celtic. Free State Stars, they got to the final. Lest we speak about that, the aftermath of that. They got beat last night by SuperSport. Do you think it's a hangover from the semi-final victory over the Chiefs?
Definitely hangover. But SuperSport as well in the relegation battle, so they were fighting tooth and nail. Went down to the wire 3-2. They're not a bad side, Free State Stars. They seem to have come good. The manager's very passionate. I watch him on the sideline, very passionate. He seems to get his message across to the players. Polokwane, they also won during the week. I think it was 1-0. Tough game. I see a draw written on this game as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the games look tight. Chipper Supersport. This has been playing in Datsani in East London. Hard to beat in East London, Chipper.
Yeah, Chipper came up 2-3 weeks ago where they beat Kaizer Chiefs 3-0.
Yeah.
And that set the rotten for Chiefs' confidence. And Chipper, on that hand, should have then moved forward with confidence. But they're another team that blows hot and cold. They'll get good victories against the big teams, then they lose to the minnows. Supersport fighting tooth and nail, third, fourth from bottom. Not where you want to see a Supersport team with all the finances they have behind them. Again, another team that I can see ending in a draw.
Yeah, win and draw Supersport. Okay, we go on to the second page, and we've got Kaizer Chiefs here, and it's obvious turmoil. Steve's gone. Maritzburg United, been going well lately.
Well, we've spoken about the manager of Maritzburg United. If he doesn't get Coach of the Year for taking this minnow little team to the Cup final of the Nedbank, they've done really well. They've come good. They're playing good soccer. Confidence is high. Chiefs, on the other hand, in the doldrums. The supporters aren't happy with the team. I think Maritzburg United could win this game.
Yeah, I think 3-1 is a great interest.
Yeah, win-draw. Definitely win-draw for me for Maritzburg United.
I think the game that will be the best footballing game, Cape Town City versus Orlando Pirates. Cape Town City had a bit of a bump in the road, Benny's team.
Yeah, they had a bit of a bump in the road. I think Pirates, on the other hand, have, with these youngsters, I am so impressed with these youngsters. They're really, really good. I mean, Augusto Palacios, I think, coaches the youth system there, and he's got some really good players coming through. Hats off to him. The Orlando Pirates have to win to keep the pressure on Sundowns. And the way they've played, you know, two good teams. Benny played for Pirates as well, so I'm leaning towards Pirates because they're on a bit of a roll at the moment.
Me too. They won 7 of the last 8. How can you not be with them?
Yeah,
Rather
100%.
back a winner till he loses than a loser till he wins.
100%.
Sundowns, you think, well, we've spoken earlier, this should be the comfortable 4-10.
Yeah, just empty out as much as you want. They have to win the league.
Yeah.
He doesn't take it to the last game. Empty out on Sundowns, they'll win.
Wits against Amazulu.
Very disappointing from Wits. I can't believe Gavin's in a situation where he is at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, from winning the league, the high was there for them to kickstart the new year, buy some new players, and they've just gone the opposite direction. They're about 5 points from the bottom. If they lose this game, then they're really going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Amazulu got a good win during the week. So this is going to be a tough game. But Wits at home, I think at Mill Park, they're very formidable on that ground. I think they will do well.
Yeah, just hot and
cold.
Just on Bidvest, Wits, they've been involved in the CAF Champions League and Confederations Cup. Now, when you at Manning Rangers, you played in that competition. It can't be easy travelling all over Africa.
No, you just no sooner get back from a long trip and then you're playing a game in the league and then you're off again to another part of the African continent and then you're back again playing again. Then you fall behind games and you have to catch up on games. It's very tough, very tough. I think for some of those Wits players, they haven't experienced things like it.
Yeah.
I think maybe next season, if they survive, well, they should survive, they'll be a force to reckon with again next year.
Yeah, I just think that Ajax, they've got 2 games to go. They got they're away to Sundowns and home to Chiefs. You know, you never know. You know, I think they could be gone shortly.
Yeah,
but,
I think it would be sad for Ajax because I mean they've really done well. They put a lot of money into the game. The young team, they've always developed young players, but it's just caught up with them now.
Yeah, sometimes developing too many young players can come back to haunt you. On to the Soccer 6 exotics for the weekend, and we start off on Saturday with the PSL one. I've gone the field with Baroka FC at Bloemfontein Celtic. Likewise, Cape Town City versus Orlando Pirates. I've gone Chipper, win and draw at home against Supersport United. While I think, I just think this game's got draw written all over it. Kaizer Chiefs, Maritzburg. So I've gone win and draw with Chiefs. I know they've been out of form, but the pressure from the fans, I think will get them a decent result. I think Sundowns will beat Ajax Cape Town. I think Bidvest Wits at home, they're unbeaten in 6. Amazulu was safe now. Pressure's off Kevin Johnson. So 2-1-6 for our PSL Soccer 6. The English one, I've gone Burnley to beat Brighton. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw at home against Leicester. I think Everton win and draw at Huddersfield. I've thrown the lurker looking to get a payout. Newcastle win and draw at home against West Brom. Southampton win and draw at home in the local derby against Bournemouth. And I've thrown the draw and looking for obviously a couple upsets in the 6. Win and draw Chelsea at Swansea City. The Soccer 10, I bank at Aston Villa to beat Derby County. I bank at Burnley to beat Brighton. I've gone Burton Albion, win and draw at home against Bolton Wanderers in the Championship relegation decider. I've gone Palace, win and draw against Leicester. In the desperation game, I've gone the field with Huddersfield versus Everton. I've gone Cardiff, who've got to get a result against Hull City. It'll be a tight game. I just think they've got the quality to beat Hull City. I've gone the field, because we're allowed 2 fields, looking for the upset with Newcastle and West Brom. I've gone Southampton, win and draw against Bournemouth. I like Middlesbrough to beat Millwall in the playoff decider in the Championship, and I've thrown the lurker, Chelsea, win and draw at Swansea. If you want to halve your bet, bank at Chelsea, it comes to 144, but our perm allows it, so we've gone win and draw Chelsea. In the Soccer 13, our usual 5 bankers and 8 win and draws. I've gone Chelsea, win and draw at Swansea. I've banked Burnley to beat Brighton and Hove Albion. I've gone Crystal Palace, win and draw against Leicester. Everton, win and draw at Huddersfield. Newcastle, win and draw against West Brom. I've banked Southampton to beat Bournemouth. Aston Villa to beat Derby County. I've banked Middlesbrough to beat Millwall. I've gone Brentford, win and draw at Barnsley. I've gone Burton Albion, win and draw against Bolton. Banked Cardiff. I've gone Preston, win and draw at Sheffield United. Now, the last games are usual Swedish Allsvenskan league fixture. And I've gone the home team, IFK Gothenburg against BK Häcken. I've gone win and draw IFK Gothenburg, 384. Obviously, if you want to halve your perm, 192, you bank at Chelsea. But we can spend 400 Rand, so that's the way we've gone. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. Obviously, we're looking at value. I think Burnley will be too good for Brighton. I fancy Everton at 2-1 to upset Huddersfield. And I just think Southampton, it's a must-win game for Southampton at home against Bournemouth. 2,000 at 200 was our bet. Our Premiership quad, I've gone both teams to score. Newcastle, West Brom. Crystal Palace, Leicester. Tottenham, Watford. And I've taken 15-10. Alexis Sanchez to score against Arsenal. He does take the penalties for United now, so that was one of the considerations. 17-1, we've got 3,400 at 200. On to the Championship. I think Aston Villa will beat Derby. Likewise, Middlesbrough at home against Millwall. Now, Reading are at home. Paul Lambert, the guy that got fired from Swansea, he's taking on Ipswich. Mick McCarthy's team are in free fall. They've lost I think they've lost 7 out of the last 8, so I've gone for Reading to beat Ipswich. And over 2.5 goals in the Norwich Leeds United, 2,100 to 200. Now, our handicap quad is all these teams have to win by more than 1 goal. I think Man City will beat West Ham. I think Man United will beat Arsenal. I think Barcelona will beat Deportivo La Coruña. And I think Real Betis will beat Malaga, all by more than 1 goal. 13-1, 2,600 to 200. Our Spanish quartet for the weekend, I've gone Valencia to beat Eibar. Both teams to score in the Basque derby between Real Sociedad and Atletico Bilbao. Likewise, Getafe and Girona on Sunday. And over 2.5 goals, Alaves against Atletico Madrid, 2,500 to 200. Now, 6 on Ixa. I've gone Burnley to beat Brighton. Man City to beat West Ham. Man United to beat Arsenal, Reading to beat Ipswich. Barcelona to beat Deportivo La Coruña. And Real Betis to beat Malaga. 14-1, 2,800, 200. Gav, I know you've been doing plenty of homework. What do you fancy?
Well, locally, I've got Sundowns to win and Pirates to win. I think Sundowns are the bet of the weekend in all leagues. Pirates to chase them home. Good value at Pirates at 15-10. Some good value there. Overseas in England, I've got Burnley to win at 12-10. Crystal Palace to win at even money. And Chelsea to win at 5-10. There's the value bets. 5-6-1. And the Sundowns Pirates should get about 5-2. Some good value. Yeah, good value. It all starts on Friday in the Championship, where our UK correspondent Stevie B will be praying while he'll be at the game at Craven Cottage. To all your viewers, thank you very much for listening to another on-site SA Soccer Show. Gav, you'll be here next week. Hope you can educate Laugh again. I'm sure I will. I'm sure it'll be quite a difficult show with Paul. We go back quite a long way, so I know he's full of laughs and tricks. We'll be waiting for him. All the viewers, have a good punting weekend.